Two piston or four piston hydraulic brakes. So I rode the basic Shimano two piston hydraulic disc brakes for a long time on the Trek Superfly. And I will say it worked in pretty much any situation I brought it to. Could there have been more braking power in certain cases? Yes, but you just kind of learn to control the bike in those cases. So it's really hard to argue that the two piston caliper isn't great for most cases. Even on my gravel bike, I ran a standard two piston caliper on there and it worked great. I feel like personally, if you have anything under like 180 millimeter and down for your rotor size, the two piston caliper going to work perfectly fine for you. I feel like if you're in those kind of situations, two piston is going to do a pretty solid job. Now, what I did upgrade to four piston calipers on both the Superfly and the Norton here. They both have four piston TRPs on them, with the Norton having 203 millimeter rotors. And I can say the stopping power between the four pistons and the two pistons is pretty night and day. If you need a lot of extra braking power, you're sending it down a hill as hard as you can. Those four piston brakes are really hard to beat. They work really, really well. So that's kind of my thing. If you're in the situation where you are ripping downhill and you need as strong a braking power as you can to control your bike, four pistons are really hard to beat that. As well as that rotor size, like I said, if you go up into like that 203 or larger kind of rotor size, four pistons make a big difference. I feel like that's kind of where that for me personally is where the range is, where I would go for a four piston caliper. Under that, a two piston does pretty well. The Superfly up there, it is running the four piston TRPs on there, but I believe it has 180 millimeter rotors front and rear right now. So it is kind of under that. And personally, that's kind of my line. Four piston is really nice to have if you're ripping downhill and you want really good braking, like the best braking power as you get. If you just want really good brakes, they're kind of maintenance free, don't have to worry about them. You're not really going ripping down hills and needing all the control you can get down a hill. Two pistons, it's hard to go wrong. They're so affordable and they work great. And like I said, I've had no problem with them the entire time I used them on the Superfly. I've done way stupid stuff on that bike before.